and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Madam President, we approve the agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda has been approved. Presentation and approval of the minutes from January.
Madam President, we approve the minutes for January.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the January minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? January minutes have been approved. Public forum. The Board of Education welcomes public comments during the visitors portion of the school board meeting agenda. All comments must be related to a topic on the agenda for that particular meeting. The public comment section of the agenda will be the only time the board takes any questions or comments from the public, unless we as a board choose to solicit more information from a person or a group attending the meeting on matters specific to the agenda. Any public comments? Are we good, Cassie?
It's the most we've ever had, by the way. You guys are still being quiet.
All right, so no comments, so we'll move to the superintendent's report. Mr. Rancis?
Madam President, members of the board, good evening. I'd like to go ahead and start my board report with giving this young lady some time to introduce herself and then give a breakdown of why she's here. She's from the Energy Systems Group. They specialize in HVAC systems. And today, her along with Tim, I was there for just a bit, and I don't remember who the gentleman was. Cameron was there, and they did a walkthrough of high school and junior high, so that we could get an idea of what it would take to get HVAC systems up in those areas there. So I'd like to give her some time to, like I said, introduce herself, and then give you guys a spell, and then I'll go ahead and finish off with mine, so she can get out of there.
Sure. Do you prefer if I stand?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, sure, I'll stand. So, Corey, thank you for having me. Superintendent says thank you. Tim, thanks for showing us around earlier. My name is Tara Crafton. I'm with Energy Systems Group. So we are essentially a general contractor specializing in energy efficient building renovations, and HVAC is a part of almost every project that we do. I gave out some folders which highlight kind of the overview of energy performance contracting, which is the procurement vehicle, and it also offers a funding mechanism. There's also a slideshow, but that's too much, I think, for the time we have now. So basically, yeah, performance contracting, the goal is to kind of offset the capital expenditure by leveraging your utility savings. So we walked around your buildings today. We were looking in, definitely there's some need to add cooling, right? You have some swamp cooling, you have some spaces that aren't cooled at all. When you go in with mechanical cooling, what you're going to see on your utility bills is typically an increase in your utility costs, right? So what we were thinking and what we typically do is we then look at a comprehensive approach to your buildings to try to mitigate some of those utility costs. So what we would recommend is also looking at implementing LED lighting and possibly solar as part of a comprehensive renovation project to try to stabilize your ongoing operational costs while making the facility upgrades that you need. So with our team, let's see what I have here. I have some notes. So yeah, so we toured the junior high and high school, and we got a basic understanding of the conditions. And again, that main objective is to address the cooling needs in your building. Again, so this was just a quick walkthrough. We have kind of back of napkin numbers because we know you're considering going out for a bond. I got some of your utility bills also. You're on really favorable rates for solar and for some of the rebates that might be associated with LED lighting. So back of the napkin for HVAC lighting, solar, and then sports lighting, also looking at the sports lighting that you have at the, well, there's none at the junior high school now for that baseball field, but then your existing stadium. That would be about a $7 to $8.5 million project to address all of those concerns. So,
Including the junior high?
yeah.
This is HVAC and lighting at the junior high and the
Yeah.
Alvis?
No, so it's the high school HVAC, lighting and solar.
Oh, high school.
Junior high school HVAC, lighting and solar.
We already have it now.
Pardon? And then, sports lighting at the junior high and high school, and then LED lighting at the elementary school. Because we understand those are relatively new, you have the VRF systems going there, so, and this is more of taking a mini split approach, so a little bit less sophisticated system, a little bit easier to maintain, with simple control system, so should be, but it still offers a good solution, for the different spaces you're trying to cool. And then you keep the boiler as a backup system if you need additional heating later.
Addresses the gym too, at the village of the gym?
The gym at the yes, it addresses the gym at the elementary, the middle school. So we were looking at replacing those swamp coolers, sealing the ducts, replacing the swamp coolers with packaged rooftop units so that offer natural gas heating and direct expansion cooling, so mechanical cooling should be more comfortable. Something we would also consider would be a destratification fan in there also. And that's honestly, that's negligible kind of in this, but we can look at that as well.
What was the fan thing? Can you explain that to me?
A destratification fan, essentially what it does is when you're heating or cooling a space, heat always rises to the top and cooling always sinks to the bottom, which is not necessarily optimal depending on the season, right? So you can put in a fan that'll help circulate the air through the space better. It allows your equipment to operate more efficiently because it's getting proper feedback. The churn air is the appropriate temperature, so you don't have as much fluctuation or complications in maintaining the temperatures in those spaces.
I see. Okay. Are you guys a member of CES?
We are on a statewide price agreement, so that's the procurement vehicle that you would use, is statewide price agreement, and it's qualified providers of energy performance contracting.
Saw your presentation at the school board conference in
Oh,
December,
okay.
I think.
Oh, great.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Is part of what you talked about there, what you're
Absolutely.
presenting here, so can you talk a little bit about that, like the cancellation of the
The bundling of measures and
Yes.
how that all works, yeah. So what we try to do in our projects to minimize the capital that you have to bring to the table is we look at bundling measures of different paybacks. And an HVAC system upgrade will never pay for itself, even if you go back in with a more energy efficient system. But something like LED lighting has a relatively quick payback. So when you bundle those elements together over the weighted life of a project, you end up with all of these additional savings that help offset the capital costs. You can secure financing against it because we guarantee your energy savings. That's one of the really nice benefits of the program. It also has state oversight, third-party engineering review from the state. But yeah, so we are able to guarantee those savings, bundle all these measures to, again, make it as budget neutral as possible. That, this is the total project cost we anticipate you needing. Ideally, if we're able to generate some savings, maybe you don't need to go out for a bond of this total amount. Or maybe if you go out for a smaller bond and we come in and we do our audit, we're able to identify some of those savings that we can leverage, and then you can finance that missing piece. Because the goal is to close funding gaps, really. The Texaco project, if you look at that profile, is fairly similar to kind of what you would be going through here, which is they had swamp coolers, so then you had to switch to mechanical cooling, and so then we were looking at a comprehensive renovation with an electrical upgrade, which you may need at your high school here, to then, so bundling everything together to still drive some of the energy savings that you see represented there. And you can reach out to Superintendent Brown if you'd like a reference, he's a big name. Yeah, of course. And I'm happy to come to that activity that we did at the, school board meeting, I'm happy to do that again, if that would be helpful.
Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and my business card's in there, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Yeah,
Appreciate you, thank you for coming down.
yeah, of course.
So would we have to have an architect, sign off on this, or is this like, after you do a bond, you have to like get an architect to sign off on it, or do you?
It's a design build approach, so, yeah, it's a design build approach. We wouldn't need an architect necessarily, we wouldn't involve an architect. For where we're switching the type of system, which is almost across the board, we would bring in a mechanical engineer specializing in those load calculations. We have, some smaller engineering firms here, local here to New Mexico, or we can use one of the larger ones. I think we saw Bridgers and Paxton on some of the, plan sets we saw in the office. We've worked with them on many projects, so we would probably bring them in, but not necessarily an architect. Yeah.
Could all of our stuff handle in like a new HVAC? Like, we have to upgrade all of our like power and circuit boards and all that kind of stuff?
Well, at the high school.
And that's something that we looked at in the numbers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Okay, moving forward, we took the initiative to go ahead and send out our, letter of intents a little bit earlier this year, based on the fact that, we're, gonna see if we can try to get all these positions filled before, the school year, ends. And so right now, looking after the letters that were turned in, we're looking at, needing 3 teachers at the high school, 3 at the elementary, a transportation supervisor, and I put 2 EAs, but there's always that fluctuates, we need more or less of those, so that's what we're looking at right now, for, hires that we need for the coming year. We've already advertised for most of them, so we're just waiting to see what we have, so that we start conducting interviews and hopefully, try to have them done by for, on the end of June, so that's what the goal is.
Is that 3 at the high school, counting the 2 that are already missing?
Yes, that's, including the 2 that are missing, and the 1 that's gonna retire. And then, elementary, we have 2 that are, 1 retiring, and we're switching things out. And then there's 1 at the elementary. That's a few there. Power School, talked to you guys a little bit about the Power School cyber attack that's been going on. Power School has, sent out, letters, offering a 2-year, service, through Guardian, credit, nothing Guardian, it's a credit for the people that their, personal information might have been taken. I think from what I'm hearing, it was like 70 students, something like that.
Yeah.
70 students and some of the staff members. I myself received, an email, asking me to go ahead and see if I wanted to take advantage of it. So I went ahead and registered, I put everything in there. They asked me for your social security, your bank accounts, credit cards, passports and all that stuff, and they're gonna be monitored for 2 years. So that's something that Power School is offering to anybody that is, identified as, having their information taken and so forth. I don't know that any of you guys may have received anything, you did, because you were employed.
I don't know if it was me or my son, I guess.
It could be both, actually, because if he was a student, and for whatever reason, that we got lucky that it's not all the kids that are there, it's just like 70 of them, or something like that, right? Is that what you said?
At some point in time, we stopped collecting social security numbers, and they've actually made it not a mandated thing anymore. They did it quite a while ago, but I think we had some residual students coming over from our previous SIS into this one. It was already in there, and just not knowing that it shouldn't be there, we wouldn't have known to go in and take it out, so.
Do we know what the information is that was taken?
It's, basically, the most important one is social security, and then we're talking.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. It was like Justin tells you, your social security number is out there anyway, he says it's just that, in this particular case, it's from here. And to be quite honest, I don't know if Power School's gonna survive this. I think what's gonna end up leading to is probably a class action suit against them because of the way it's being handled and so forth. So I would definitely, put on your radar, considering going with a different, program, to see, moving forward. I know that the state's trying to develop something, that they would adopt that would, require all districts to be on the same thing, but that's still in the works and so forth. But, depending on where it goes with this, we're gonna, just have to keep an eye on what Power School is gonna end up doing at the end of the day. But, they are doing these other diligence to get everybody the help that they need, at least to monitor for 2 years, and then after that, so I don't know what happens after that, but that's what that is. And of course, you remember, we had the ransomware, cyber attack here at the district in the summertime. Zach and Justin, have worked with, Joanne Roque from, Palms, right? She's from Palms. And, they have gotten everything together so that we can send off and get our reimbursement for everything. What was the total cost when it was all said and done? $100,000?
102 or something.
So that's $102,000 that we had to fork out, to hire the different entities from the law firm to forensics to, negotiators to, Phoenix 24 to rebuild the network and so forth. Out of the 104 that we paid out, we'll get all of it back except for $5,000 because our insurance will cover all that back. So we'll get a little over, about $99,000 back, once everything's done. These guys worked very hard to get it done and everything should be in there. So, that's that. Justin also informed me that all the IT infrastructure is now being moved over to Fortinet. And so that's the new, equipment that he wanted to get everything on there, so he's successfully moved all the whole network over to it. And he's working on trying to get all our phones and everything going, to it also, so just has been a very busy person, with dealing with the cyber attacks and then trying to get, things done for the school district, so, my hats off to Justin for hard work and Zach for getting all this stuff, and Justin going to be able to make it. This last week, yes.
I just said thank you guys.
This last week, Ms. Gaither, Mr. Howard, and I attended the Safe School Summit in Berlin. There was some interesting stuff going on. A lot of the stuff that was discussed there is stuff that we've already had here, the palms and so forth, but there were some very interesting keynote speakers that came up and presented to us and brought new ideas to the forefront that the administrators can use. So I think overall it was very productive and it also gives you a chance to network with other people, not just administrators, but just different people that might be working on trying to keep our school system safe and so forth. So I thought that was a pretty beneficial thing. Update on our fire panels at the high school, and Tim can maybe jump in here, but my understanding is that we're still looking at the high school hopefully being done probably the middle of March, and then we'd have to wait for the fire marshal reports to come in and approve everything and be ready to go. I know the guy that's supposed to program the main panel is supposed to be here this week to get it done. I haven't seen him, but that's where we're at. And then the goal is to hopefully get together with Honeywell so that we can get the middle school going and try to get that done through the summer months, so we don't have to worry about doing the stuff there. There is gonna be a slight increase in the price and so forth, but when I did the application for PSFA to get their help, I overestimated it, so with what the overestimation that I have, it should cover the additional cost, which is gonna be, I think, was it 30,000, 30 to 50,000? And so I overestimated it, and it should be good to go. And then it's just a matter of getting everything working out. Now, for the old junior high demo, project, we working with Elise through PSFA. She's the one that helped me get everything done. We got everything taken care of. We got a letter of award. And then, now we have a different gentleman, Philip Ortiz, that I guess has taken over, and there was some miscommunication that was going on there. I don't think that they communicated well with each other, but when it's all said and done, I think we're on track to get it going the way we can. You wanna add to what you and Philip were talking about?
Yes, so first he started saying that we didn't have any of the process done, and then, I wasn't here when they obviously started it. So then I talked to Tim, Mr. Maestas, and they were like, no, we already got the award letter and everything, but at least got a new job, or
I don't know.
she got a promotion or something.
I don't think so. I think what happened is that she still does what she does, but once we get all this stuff, he becomes like the project manager.
Mhm.
And so then it gets turned over to him, but I I think there was enough communication with PSFA, and that's my frustration with working with PSFA, that there's, not only is there a bunch of red tape to go through, but then if they don't communicate, then it pushes everything back. But luckily, we had all the paperwork we needed, and so I just basically got it to Zach got it to him, and today I think we got the last piece from J3 to get everything going, and we should be on track to move the boiler first, just like I said before, and then when closer to the summertime, summer months, that's when the demo is gonna happen. We're gonna backfill it and so forth, and hopefully the plan is to get everything done before students come back to school in school.
Is there still a way to preserve that stained glass that's at the
That's
top or the
yeah.
kids?
We're gonna take care of it,
Okay.
yeah. Anything in there, we're gonna, like, the WPA stuff, we'll put that aside where it needs to go.
Is that, I would just think, how do you get that
We'll get it.
there if that, I mean,
Yeah, no, we'll get it out, it won't be a problem.
Where are we gonna put all the WPA?
That's what I was thinking that. I have another area where we're gonna just have to put it for now. It's prepped and ready, so I was hoping to maybe get some kids to help us move that out of there. It's in a location where it's all centralized, so we can pull it out and move it.
Strong seniors.
Yes, these boys back
And
there.
then there's a lot of stuff in there, too, old desks from God knows when, that someone on the line, the district just gotta get rid of. They're
what
just-
do we do, that was the next question, what do you do with that? Because you can't, I mean,
So it's all broken down. I mean, none of it's good.
So you're talking, WPA? Yeah, that's why we have to keep it in a separate area.
Yeah,
but
we
you're
have
just
it-
talking about desks.
I'm talking the old desks that aren't, they need to do it,
That's not on that,
it should be on the,
that list, that,
fixed asset list.
fixed assets?
You gotta get it on there.
Well,
so you
shouldn't
can-
those already be off the fixed assets list? Because he took a bunch of that off. I mean, if it is, new.
Well, I've got my eye on a table and then I'll take off lessons.
There's some cool stuff.
We had to change the locks because of people like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
to,
just thinking, do like they do in some places, they set it down and if you want it.
Yeah, so there's nothing.
you guys do that after June, okay?
Yeah, right now, there's nothing in there. It's all damaged because of the location it's been in.
So hopefully that project will go off the way it's supposed to now that we've got everything, all worked out.
That's great, good job. That's awesome that we're gonna get it taken down.
And just so y'all know, so I had a meeting with both Tims, the Tim from J3 Systems and Mr. Tim himself. And, we decided that it'd probably be better to split it up into 3 contracts, but they're overlooking the whole process of it. So the boiler crew have their own contract, the demolition crew, and then
Abatement, there's an abatement crew that has to come in and make sure everything's safe so they can tear it down. With like,
So we do it all 3, so he said it'd be cheaper instead of them doing it all together, and it's easier to keep track of that way, because they'll bill us for the demolition, they'll bill us for the moving the boiler over, instead of just getting a huge list of invoices we have to match up, so we thought it'd be a better idea. Just for you guys.
Sounds like a smart idea.
That's good.
Okay, on January 22nd, I participated in a discussion, a meeting between, Tammy Stump Chavez, I'm not sure what her last name is, Kate, Bailey, Fire Chief Drum, and the city manager, and, Ms. Tammy wanted to see if we would get on board because she's trying to write a grant to get mental health services here, through the hospital in the community, so we went ahead and, we talked about it and so forth, and a memo of our understanding was sent out to see if we would want to participate. I went ahead and signed us up for it because the goal is to use the school as a tool to like get the referrals and see how we can identify the kids or individuals that may need those mental health services, and then we'll move forward from there after if we have to be like a location where we would provide the services, we could do that and so forth. But this was just the first initial thing that we wanted to get into place. We wanted to make sure that we have the different entities that were on board, so that she can go ahead with the grant, and then once, if we do get the grant and get awarded, then we'll, like I say, it might be after my deal, but then whoever is here can work out the details on how that's gonna work, but at least we got the ball rolling with that. Is there any questions on that issue? I think it's a very, very important issue for our community.
Very
I
important.
like hearing that.
That's awesome. What is it? Is it just like a free service?
It's, it's gonna be considered free because that money is gonna fund everything that we need to do, and then once we get people identified, that's something that we would like to identify, from what I understood for the free service.
Great. That's awesome.
They support our school system really, really well, I think that's what we need.
I agree.
I think you all received the email from Joe Guillen. There's some new advisories for policies 246, 247 through 260. I got them a little late, so I couldn't put them on this board meeting. So I've listed them to have in there for the first reading for the next board meeting. You should have gotten them because he sends them to all the board members. And then the other thing he sent out was a legislative highlights of the different bills and everything that's going on in Santa Fe. I also emailed you one, forwarded you one from Bonnie Lightfoot. If you look into that one, you go by bill, and if on the right-hand side, you click on the little blue link, it will tell you, give you all the details of what was in the bill and what was proposed and so forth. And it also lists if it been passed or not passed.
Did you see the one about the, reciprocity agreement for teachers with licenses in other states?
I looked through it, yes, but I was looking at the other one with the administrators. We're looking at doing licenses at, level 1 administrator, level 2 administrator, and then the highest, license you can get is a superintendent license. And so you kinda have to go through the process of getting those, like for all of us that are already, like in the roles that we are there, we're already grandfathered in with whatever may be there. And then the other one that really caught my eye is that they're, wanting to raise the minimums for teachers at levels by 5,000. But they're also proposing a 4% increase. So they're gonna pull the same thing they pulled the last time. They're gonna do the 4% first. If you don't get to the 5,000, they round you up to the 5,000. So it sounds like you're getting 5,000 plus 4%, but you're not.
And then your insurance is going to increase.
Right.
Yeah, it's always 15.
What about the bill levy fee? Is that passed?
So you know what, it's not on here, where they were proposing to change the mill levy from a 10 mil cap to an 8.
It's not in here,
I didn't
but
see
we did discuss it in our superintendent meeting in Santa Fe, and it is something that they're proposing to do.
I bet.
That would be awesome.
I bet it passes.
Yep.
So
I
then
bet
that would,
So it's kinda like a smart thing to hold off on the election right now, because you may not have to go to 10 when it might be lower, so.
Yeah.
But it is something that's on there, for sure.
sounds like it's not gonna be any lower.
And so, like I said, if you wanna refer to that last one I forwarded you, Joe's doesn't have the links to show all the specific details on each one of them, but the one from Bonnie, the one I forwarded you from you guys, if you click on the right-hand side, there's a little blue, and then it breaks it down for you, everything that's going on and so forth.
Did the concealed carry fee pass?
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't look it up.
That would be awesome. Keep our kids safe. Straight up.
So, that is my report. If there are any questions that you have for, questions?
Great job, thank you.
Oh, that's on, it's a discussion. All right, so with that, Ms. Chelsea?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. I don't have a whole lot to report for this month. Our current enrollment at Aldous is 142 students. We did lose 2. They actually moved back to Texas where they originally came from, so we lost 2 kiddos right before Christmas break. On Friday, February 21st, so last Friday, Jeanette Walker, she works for CES, and so she's a site consultant, she's a new teacher mentor and an MLSS consultant. So we get 8 free days with her where she comes out, she does classroom walkthroughs for our new teachers, provides feedback, and she's a member of our PLCs and gives us feedback on what we can do to improve. And so she came out on Friday, she conducted classroom walkthroughs, met with the 3 new teachers that I have in my building and gave some feedback, and she had some really good things to share about them. And then that afternoon, my building did a PLC, and she was able to sit in on that and kind of help our teachers facilitate that to make sure that we're following our MLSS continuums and doing things like that. I'm in the middle right now of completing my formal teacher evaluations. I'll be doing that until March 6th, and then, so what I do is, I go in, I just observe for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, you know, however long I have, and then, I just take notes, and then I have meetings planned to just talk with teachers, get feedback, kinda see how things are going, and kinda have that one-to-one with them. Let's see what else. I mean, as far as events go, not a whole lot. Spring break, March 17th through the 21st. March 25th, we'll be having our class and spring pictures. Parent-teacher conferences will be Friday, March 28th. Also that weekend, I know we're not really affiliated, but our Clayton Pee Wee tournament will be held March 28th through 30th at the Hub Gym, and so if you can come out and support our littles, they have a great concession stand, and so it's important to watch our littles in action too. It's a good time. As far as daycare certification update goes, big thanks to Mr. Tim for finding a shade structure that we can utilize our New Mexico pre-K funds up to $5,000 because it is the New Mexico, it's our pre-K playground as well. So in working with Zach, I think we're gonna figure out a plan to be able to purchase that shade structure. It's like 6,200, so 5,000 we can utilize through the New Mexico pre-K funds, and the other, Zach's doing all the legwork on figuring out how to cover the expenses on that. After we get that, it probably won't be installed until this summer, but I will be working on making sure that hopefully we'll be certified before the beginning of school next school year on that. I did talk to the lady from Santa Fe, and she did inform me that they are short-staffed, and so they're behind on certifications and all that stuff, so as soon as we can get some things done.
So started in May. So,
Yeah, I have all the
is that what she
paperwork.
told me?
Yeah, and I have everything done, it's just a matter of doing those upgrades to the facility that were needed. The cribs we already have received, and then just doing that shade structure, and then hopefully we'll be good to go.
Great, awesome.
Any questions? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Kaiser enrollment is at 16, junior high enrollment's at 57, total is 117. Our fundraiser that we did in the junior high and Kaiser is over, and the items are being delivered on Friday. So parents will be picking them up and delivering them to, or the students will be delivering them to the bottom, but I figured I'll be the parents, but anyway. Our family income index money that we received for the junior high, we have started using that. And we had 11, 12 kids go to Santa Fe, to the Roundhouse, and then they got to do a little bit, go to the churches, do a little bit of sightseeing while they were there, and then came back. Also with that, on the 120th day, any kids that were in school that day without being tardy and didn't have any office referrals or the following dress code were allowed to go bowling, not that Friday, but the following. So last Friday they went bowling. We've also been able to get like supplies in the classrooms. Every teacher had like $300 to get supplies for the classrooms. We have 2 family engagement nights coming up. One is March 25th, which is going to be a game night, and every child that comes will be able to take home a board game when they leave, which I think is really cool. And then April 7th will be a craft night, where they get to make crafts and they get to take those home. Track practice started today. So we have 11 7th graders and 12 8th graders that went out. Zach had the pleasure of running them today, no, I'm just kidding. Softball had already started, and I have 3 kids that are in softball. In esports, we're kind of having a little bit of technological issues with esports because Justin's not here to explain this, but anyway, since it's the internet and we don't want it to get attacked again, so we're trying to find some place for them to be able to do that.
If we use the system they want us to use, which is what's the thing called, play, something, versus, the way that they described it to Justin, if he follows their recommendation on how to open everything up, then we're really susceptible to be hacked. And he said, we're not doing that, and I'm 100% behind him. So we're reaching out to the library to see if we can take them there, because we can take them
anywhere that's public, we just can't go to a private home. Because they consider it might be cheating or doing something that they cheat on. So we can do that, so we're trying to reach out and find us a good place we can go to that's not the case.
Definitely not worth getting hacked at.
Exactly, and that's what I said, if that's the case, then let's just don't even worry about it. We'll just stick with baseball and softball and track and all the other sports that are offered. That's about all that I have, I mean, obviously we still have spring break and all that fun stuff coming up too, so.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Our enrollment has kind of been fluctuating, it's about 121 now. We've got some new students in, lost a couple, so we're still sitting around 121. We did our iReady testing on January 14th. I checked the results and I was not satisfied at all. Let me just say I was let down a lot. So I went around to the classroom, I was talking to all the kids, and I was saying to them, I don't believe you're 3 grade levels behind in reading and math. And so some of them just said, hey, because when they stopped giving us grades for it, we stopped trying. And you know, I can't really blame them, to be honest. I was their age, and it didn't mean anything. I don't know how hard I tried. You know, so we need to look into that, but it's not a bad measurement tool. But I explained to them again how important it is that I have an understanding of baseline of where I can help them. And as much as I do that, there's still going to be some that I can try. But I hope that I can get more of them to try harder in the future. Right now, we did not show improvement in our ready at all. They were pretty much the same as they were in the fall, that beginning of the year test. So we just have to do some more focus. I have to tighten up the ship a little bit there. I can tell you what I believe, in my opinion, is what's causing us to be at the least bit behind is distractions going on in the classroom. And I feel like a lot of it is the Chromebooks. When I'm walking by, I'm seeing them not really focused. So I'm going in the classrooms, and I'm not blaming our teachers, because I tell you what, they can't sit there and monitor that the whole day while they're trying to teach a lesson. Yes, sir.
Can you play like games and stuff on Chromebooks? Yeah. So.
And I'm walking in, get off the
So they're
games,
just
get
driving
off
around
the,
playing games instead of doing.
get off the games, get off the videos, watching YouTube basketball or something, you know, all these things.
So you can get on YouTube, you can get on all that stuff on your Chromebook.
Well, there are some things that are blocked and so forth, but,
You
you know,
can get around them.
Well, they're crafty.
if they would use the same ability to get around the games to do
Yeah.
the work, then we wouldn't have the issues we have.
You know,
So, it's, you know,
It used to be that if they did not perform well in those short cycle assessments, that they were put into, like, one of their electives was taken and they were put into like,
Remedial, or additional.
yeah, you know, some kind of intervention class.
That's what we did in Texas, actually.
So if they knew
We tried
that-
that for a couple of years. It didn't really work out, and they went away from it and didn't make it mandatory anymore. But we did do that. It's just, I think that they didn't really work in that room either.
Right, but I mean, if
Probably
they
is
really
big.
wanna be in woodshop, then
Mhm.
they can't, because they didn't take the test seriously. Sorry.
I agree, and
mean,
I think that's something we need to look into for the future for next year,
You
is
just
to make
put
some of
it
these
in-
changes to.
You're good in 2 math classes,
So-
too.
so if I may I ask, Ms. Gaither, I know that there's one particular teacher at the junior high that has completely banned the Chromebooks on it. It's changed. How are the classes, the math classes there? Because I know that, Elias was saying he didn't want Chromebooks in there because
He doesn't have Chromebooks at all in his class. He teaches from a book.
How they doing?
7th graders are really doing well right now. My 8th graders,
And it's not that I wanna
Not
get rid
so-
of Chromebooks. I just think that it needs to be, like in the classrooms, and what I've started working on with the teachers right now, is we're gonna gradually work towards traditional, where they only use their Chromebooks or their online screen time in certain hours of the day. And in the core classes, they're not on there. We can have research classes for them whenever they need to use them for that time. And so we're trying to build that into the schedule for next year too.
I think it's like a baby
There is,
schedule. You know what I mean? For like teachers, for parents, for, you know, like that's what it ends up becoming, you know
I
what I
think
mean?
you'll be able to do that because part of this, what's in legislation is that anti-distraction
Yeah.
bill, and so I think that's giving the flexibility to say, we're not going to allow that, or even you will enter in this door in the mornings and check in your phones.
How is the no phone thing working out?
Not terribly well, we get about 5.
You get 5 phones
When
per
I
day?
catch them though, I'm having to, you know, give them a little different consequence. It's better for when they're athletes because, or if they're participating in something afterwards, because then I can hold that. And every one of those that I've caught, I said, if you don't turn in your phone now, you're gonna sit. And so they're all turning them in every single day. But I have to go through that. And the tough part, heard one in the bathroom today very much calling mama. I'm like, turn it in when she came out, and then she turned it in, but then I said, you can always call mom anytime you want from the front office.
So what they do is they bring in a big phone to keep theirs, and
That's another thing, yeah. So it's a tough battle. I mean, it's a stronghold on our kids today. And what we're gonna have to do is I'm probably gonna have to reach out to the community more and talk to parents more and try and get some more help from them.
Isn't there like a program that'll block cell phones inside of a school?
But it'll also mess with our technology. I talked to Justin about that already. Yeah, he said it might hurt our other Wi-Fi and other things too.
Cause that means everybody's phone,
the jams over here.
Which is good, and the teachers don't get their phones either.
but then it's ours too.
But then they can't take attendance or anything like that
Yeah.
in Power School.
If we could be more specific, it's a work in progress. We keep trying to find ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Attendance on day 120, not a good day to have a day 120.
No,
Our school
that's
system,
really-
we were so sick, we just took 2 days off to get everybody, you know, healthy again, and we came back and
And it snowed that morning.
and snowed, and I offered free tickets to any of our kids that showed up to the game on Saturday. We had a good turnout, but we still had a lot of kids out sick. We had a lot out sick, so that was that day. The main thing we're focused on really at the high school is getting that graduation requirement push, making sure everybody's in where they need to be. I think we're in pretty good shape. As far as athletics, as you know, in football, we hired, offered to Mr. Michael Birch. Doesn't take really good pictures, so he's coming here Friday to visit with the team, during 7th period. He's going to, I'm gonna take some pictures, man. We're gonna see if we can get a good picture of him. He sent me some more, and I'm sorry, I just wasn't gonna post them. So, but we'll have him up here. He's gonna visit with the team. He is a PE certified teacher from Oklahoma. I know that much so far. I thought he was in science, but I think that way they do their certifications is different than New Mexico. So I'm not sure if I can get him certified in science. Many years of successful coaching in 8-man football. As a head coach, he definitely brings a disciplined approach, and I can tell you he was the consensus of both committees. They both liked him a lot, and our players loved him. They loved what he was bringing to the table as far as discipline. Basketball, girls finished 8-17, as you've all always also pointed out. I think they did much better than we expected. 3-7 record. Great job by our coaching staff. Our boys finished 12-13. It didn't even end the way we wanted to, but again, I still think we have an amazing coaching staff on both sides, boys and girls. Our cheer team's gonna go to state Friday, March 21st, be at UNM Arena. The doors open at 7:30 and competition starts at 8. That's for us. It's gonna be on Friday, March 21st. Baseball's first game will be March 7th at MS Valley. It's a doubleheader for varsity. We should have schedules for you all, I think, for all the spring sports now.
Mhm.
Softball will be March 17th at home versus Memorial. Hopefully we have enough. I was talking to coach and he's struggling right now. He's got some injured and some decided not to play, so we're out there recruiting, trying to make sure we've got enough to play for that. And then track's first meet will be March 22nd at Tucumcari. We're also going to host a track meet, a junior high and a varsity and a high school track meet this year, which will be on the schedule. That's all I Okay, that's a good question, thank you. So what we've done is we reached out on REAP, haven't had any applicants. I've had one given to me, I've called them 3 times, they're just not returning the call. I reached out to 2 different universities. I'm trying to stay in communication with them to help us find teachers, Eastern and New Mexico Highlands. Not found anything for us there yet either. As far as, so what we're doing is we're trying to keep a consistent sub in there the whole time. So we've changed our Edmentum, and now what's happening is they're gonna be on Edmentum, following the curriculum, and Coach Funk has taken over because he's science certified. So what he's gonna do is kind of guide them there while we have a sub in the classroom, at least until we can get a certified teacher in there. So they will be taking the course on Edmentum. He'll be grading it, and we'll stay on top of it that way. That's what we're doing for now.
Is it on Chromebook and stuff too?
Yes, sir.
So is he leading instruction?
No, he can't really be in there, so we have to have a sub, or what, it's gonna be on the Edmentum. So what he's doing is unlocking and locking it as we go along, so he's kind of, and he goes in, like today, he spent the beginning of each class period explaining what's gonna be happening, what you're doing in this unit and that thing, so.
Is this for like all science at the high school, like physics, everything?
Yes, all of it. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And juniors have to take the New Mexico science.
How's our
This year, they've missed out on a lot, the rest of the year.
Well, and I'll be quite frank with you. Today, Funk said that, it was chemistry. They said, wow, you know, you've already started doing things, you've been doing that much already.
And Edmonton is good,
And
but
sad.
it's just, it's not
It's a
great.
tool.
They've missed out this year on most of their science instruction, unfortunately.
Did we have any of, our applicants from the Philippines who were science endorsed?
Well, I have, Mr. Archie has sent somebody to reach out to me, but they can't start until next school year.
It takes the process is gonna take anywhere from 2 to 4 months to get done.
Well, that one's in the United States, but he still is under contract in another district.
Because what happens is they have to have their sponsor agree to release them to come to us. A lot of times the sponsor won't do that until, because if they do that, they'll leave them hanging and they come here. So, if we don't find someone that's basically in the US right now, that's willing to come right now, we're probably gonna have to be looking, if we're gonna do a Filipino, I have to get that process going here pretty quick so that.
Can you add a stipend?
What's this, man?
I mean, that might
I-
entice people to
Is it-
apply.
There are a lot of districts doing bonuses for
I mean,
critical needs.
because right now it's like a hard time for people to pick up and leave and stuff, so a stipend might.
That's why all the universities hoping that somebody graduated in December, and they
Right.
just don't have anywhere to go yet.
Or your community schools, did you, I don't know if there's any, I mean, does that allow for like professionals to help lead until we get somebody, or, I don't know.
We would still, I mean, anybody that we'd have in there would have to have, you know, a licensed teacher, so we could get somebody with a degree in biology or something.
But then you have to do all
In the provisional license.
It's the wrong time of year.
So is that new law, is that gonna change that?
Well, it just says that, you might be able to bring someone from a different state.
That's
That
licensed in their
is-
state?
Well, there is also another program, I can't remember what it's called, where they actually pay for the teacher to come in and learn. They do it for admin and for teachers, new ones that have different degrees. Just called me a week ago and said they've lost their funding. So they're done with that too, so that was one of my other options I was trying to get.
Maybe especially for the kids that are taking the science state test, it would be nice to do like some kind, I don't know if you, whatever the program would be, but some like review of chemistry and, some things like that, you know, push.
I think the time before that, we could do something like that, where we give them a little prep, a little
Cause
review
that's
before
coming
the test.
around soon,
That's it.
yeah, so, I know it's a hard spot to be in.
Yeah. We'll get it.
Thank you, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since we have Mr. Callis here, maybe you can report on what his department's, busy with some, getting ready for spring break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just getting the football field ready, of course, for the next season. Baseball field, we've been working on trying to make it as best as we can. So it may be a summer project of trying to work on that baseball field, get it another facelift. We'll see
What's wrong with it?
The outfield's in disarray. I mean, it needs a lot of attention.
It needs to be replanted, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's just work.
Yeah, I would also recommend that if in the fall, if we really want it to be healthy, in the fall, we could overseed it with some winter ryegrass, even if it snows on it in the spring, that stuff is nice and green, it loves the cold.
It really does.
And it would keep it, protect the other grass as well.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Appreciate you. You guys do a great job.
You do awesome job.
We'll try our best. It's been
Yeah, I know there's a lot of things, there's always a lot of things that we have to do, but our facilities is really nice.
Yeah, there's some other places that, other districts that go.
Man, our new facilities are huge. I mean, like, all of the different campuses we have, like, it's huge. So much that y'all have to take care of.
I've always thought that if students are going to be able to enjoy the benefits of being part of a program, it doesn't hurt them to help get fields prepared, stuff like that. I think that coaches could, utilize their players and let them be a little more prideful in their facilities as well.
1,000%.
Not that they're not, but I just,
Well, and we had Corbin, he helped last year with the football field, and he didn't realize what it took to
right,
get it ready.
right,
And after he did it, he was like, God,
yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that the players weren't doing anything. When I met with baseball coach, I told him, I said, every practice, my players raked. They raked it all up and we cleaned it up, we drug the field. They had chores to do every practice.
We always did that too.
They should.
And so I can't believe we're not doing that.
In
So
every
that's something we're gonna start incorporating.
Yeah, clean. I mean, trash in the gym and stuff like that. I mean, it's, no one likes to do it, but it's kind of a, hey,
It's a pride thing. It all
It
comes
is.
back to a pride thing.
it is. So,
I agree.
Thank you, Mr.
right? Thank you. Okay, moving to board communications, summer program. We wanted to talk about the summer program because it's a tough one. And, Ms. Thompson at the county did reach out to me and asked if we would have some kind of proposal for, the county for their budget meeting in April as to how much we would like their help in funding summer recreation. So Ray worked on the letter for us,
So,
and we'll look at that, but we wouldn't get the money until July 1st. So that kind of puts us into, the bulk of summer rec is June.
he's got,
Yeah, I talked to Maria about it too, but, it would be perfectly fine if we just front the money for June, close the accounts out, and we just get reimbursed in July.
But what would that
So
do
it'd
for
be-
them? How would that
For-
look for them? I mean, they may not wanna do that because that might be, how would that look in an audit for them to be paying for something?
Yeah,
For,
both fiscal years.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I bet that that's
but
gonna be a
would
hard
it
thing.
be, would it be
for
that,
them to
if
do.
Is that their fiscal year?
Well,
They're on the same fiscal
But we
year
have to
as us.
split the money though, like, if you get money for July 2025, right? And that's all you get for that whole year, right?
So-
Instead of so next July, you'd be in the same situation.
Well, we'd have to ask for July of 2025 and June, but I don't know if that's exactly what she wants. But, she did want us to attend the meeting if we could, because you can ask those questions. I'm gonna be administering the state test in Raton.
So is the funding for this summer or next summer?
It could be for this July,
Not June.
but where are we with June? So that means June has to be funded somehow, and I was talking to Gus about it because I asked him if he would take my place at the meeting. And if you wanted to go and Ray and Zach, if you guys could go and really hear what they're saying about when they can issue the money. Where was it going? Well, yeah, so then you can ask them about, you know, is this going to be just a yearly thing? Or once we get it started, can we just submit the letter every year? Cause I mean, once we get it all worked out in person, I think every year we could just submit the same letter.
And I know that we talked that like, it's not the school's job to provide summer rec. Like, it's not, you know, and I understand that it's not, and it shouldn't.
It's not fully, it's not
Right.
that it's not at all, it's just,
And it
we
shouldn't.
need partners.
Right, we can't do it on our own, and I agree with y'all wholeheartedly on that, like, we, you know, but we need help, and we need a,
The thing is that the school cannot be the fiscal agent. There's no way. These people, everybody assumes that because it's summertime, that it shows up for us. It doesn't. For the central office, it picks up because we gotta get ready for the coming school year. So I made the mistake this last year of saying we would do it, and then it put the ladies in a big stress, and Cassie's witness to it. You can bring the other two in, they'll tell you.
Massive
And it's just,
amount of
there's
work
no way that
for
you
us.
can, it's chaotic in there as it is anyway. And then throwing this on top of that is just, you know, my deal initially was that we would provide whatever, buildings or whatever it is, transportation and so forth, but somebody else would be the fiscal agent. We ended up somehow with everything, and it was a nightmare. And, you know, we all talk about wanting to do for our kids, I mean, our kids as a community also, you know, so, you know, somebody's gotta step up too. I mean, I don't know,
I agree.
I know I'll be here in June, but at that, I wouldn't wanna put, Zach and my ladies to the same thing we went through last year. It's just, there's just no way it's doable.
and there's another problem too, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The other problem too is like, I know that we have, you know, our facilities need TLC during the summertime too, you know, and that's a
It
big
put a
issue,
damper
too.
on our stuff.
For sure. And
It's a
so,
big sacrifice.
I feel like maybe we could reach out as a squad, and we could talk to, you know, the county and the city, and be like, we can't be the fiscal agents, but this is for our kids as a whole. And then together, you know what I mean, we can come up with a plan for the, like, from now on, you know?
Well,
and-
and it used to be ran out at where the sheriff's department is.
Well,
At the old.
I've been
armory.
talking to the city about, the sheriff department is actually supposed to move out of it, and that's the city building. And, the ideal situation would be that would be designated like
It has
a
a
recreation
little-
center,
Yeah.
and that's where you would use it, you're right there to the swimming pool and everything else. But it's like, I mean, fortunately, we can't control how fast they get stuff done, but I do know that the sheriff department is supposed to be out of there, and then the city is the one that's in charge of that, National Guard Armory. And that would be the ideal place for it. I mean, you got gyms, you've got just different classrooms, everything's there that you need, you're right there by that.
So then you need to go
How
back.
would you see the school being involved in this new program?
Provide transportation, possibly provide the workers and stuff like that. If there's, anything, of course, we would have to do the cafeteria for them to come get their lunches and so
But
forth.
they have over there. They have a little kitchen over there.
Yeah,
Because
but-
that's where they used to run the summer food program out of that.
I'm
So-
not sure, but I'm pretty sure the city has other plans for that building, but I can't speak with authority on that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure we can have.
So we probably need to get to their
But, but it gets back to what Tim is saying and Ms. Valdez, we've already had a discussion about Alvis not being part of, summer program this year, because there's things that they wanna get done there too. And so it does put a damper on everything with the school, because then we can't get that cleaned up and get it ready to go. So, I don't have.
The other idea I have is, and I've said this before, and I only know this because I saw in my own retirement. I worked 2 summers for summer school at junior high, and they counted it as a year towards my retirement. 2 summers for a year for my retirement. I thought that was pretty cool, So if we had summer school, okay, and we did meet with a vendor at this last conference who helps organize that. If we did have summer school, because there's probably some need for summer school, whether it's credit recovery or just intervention or whatever, I mean, I don't know where the funding comes from, but I do believe that there is a whole other way that can be budgeted, or you can find, and Maria might know better, but if it was summer school and not summer recreation. And it may just be in changing the name, because there is a lot of intervention that goes on with those little kids during summer recreation. So,
It's a good idea.
I'm just saying, and it might encourage more teachers to want to work summer rec if they knew, I'm gonna get some quarters of my retirement.
I know, I'm sorry, I was in another district, and we tied our summer basketball for youth with our reading program. And we had them both at the same time when they come out of class.
See,
That's kind of what we said too. We were
I was talking about that too. I would love it if our coaches, like part of, like what our head coaches do, and be involved with summer rec, was they have have a camp, a track camp, a basketball camp, a football camp, a baseball camp, a volleyball camp. I mean, there's 2 weeks out of the summer right there, and I feel like that's a huge thing to like grow your culture. You know what I mean? As like a whole, like have a band camp. You know what I mean? Have a band camp. Have all these things, and if the school, you know, if coaches or teachers would be willing to donate 2 days, 3 days of their time to
Well,
do
they
these
could
for
be-
these kids.
There should be money somewhere. I don't know how they paid us before, but I mean, we got paid really well. I mean, we were like hourly staff, of course, but, we got paid really well to work, to teach in summer school.
And maybe, you know, all the coaches or, you know, the band teacher, Mr. Victory, like all of them can get a stipend, you know, an FFA camp, you know, so, and I don't know, it's just an idea, but I feel like that like would really help kids to like grow the culture.
So maybe we're looking at it as more of the same instead of changing what it was. Maybe we should be looking at it as not summer rec, you know what I mean? But still asking those entities for help. We just need to figure out what to do with June.
We just can't let it fall, you know, we have to do something for the kids, so. Even if it does like fall on us, cause I think for a lot of kids, and I know that y'all feel that way also, or I think so, but a lot of these kids, that's the only safe place they have to go. It's the only food they get, like no telling what some kids are dealing with at home, and like, that's all they have, and that's a big, big, big deal.
Are we still getting that free lunch program thing with summer food?
Yeah,
And that,
and
we tied it to that too, I forgot, but we
Yeah,
also
and
included
that's
the
not a
meal.
problem. I mean,
That's a done deal,
that
right?
pays for itself,
Yeah.
really, but then what else, you know? But I know, like, a lot of the teachers that were teaching summer rec were saying, those kids come in Monday, and it's like, they haven't eaten, like, they're starved, and it's not all kids, but if not, there's no childcare in this town either. If you think of that, and some kids are by themselves, and I know we think, well, that's, the parents gotta step in and do that, but, well, we all do, so I just think if it was more looked at as summer school, I know that's got a negative connotation to it, but
Maybe we can fund summer school,
fun summer school,
yeah,
summer fun school.
summer fun school.
But if we could look at it to see if how do other schools, they have summer school, how do they fund that? I don't know. I'm not trying to make more work, just trying to figure out how not to, I mean, we can't let this die.
And I think
That's-
we have to like reward people for working so hard to put it on, you know what I mean? You have to find the money to be able to, you know, make it worth a teacher's while, or make it worth a coach's while.